Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kodak. Today we're going to talk about the preview matchup between the Lions and the Buccaneers here on Chain Gang Chats.
In audio.
So, I was looking into things a little bit. I had to dive a little bit deeper, kind of get my facts straight here. So, we're going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in week 2, Sunday at 1. And man, these Buccaneers played one heck of a game on offense. Um, you would think that one guy just popped off when you're looking at the number of the game, because the Buccaneers won 37-20 against the Washington Commanders, and quite frankly, their offense is really not that bad. They got a couple players. They got McLaurin, they got Austin Eckler, they got Zach Ertz out there. And even Jamison Crowder, some guys that have been around the league a little bit. So when you look at it, their offense is no slouch. But when we're looking at the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, he might have had one of the best games he's ever had in his entire career. This game, he actually threw for 289 yards, and he was 24 of 30 with 4 touchdowns. Insane. No interceptions. Once again, this might be the best game he's ever had. But when I was diving into it a little bit, I noticed that pretty much all the wide receivers that are on the team, they all got touches. So it was all spread around. Chris Godwin with 8 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. You got Rashad White. He's got 6 catches for 75 yards. Mike Evans also has to get his touches. And he actually had 2 touchdowns for 5 catches and 61 yards. And the rookie, McMillan, he got 1 catch and 32 yards and a touchdown as well. So just crazy to see that they're working the ball around on offense. And this offense is, definitely no slouch. It's going to be a good test for our young secondary that's revamped, especially with all these rookies coming in and people still out to prove their worth for the Lions. This is going to be a good test for them to see how they perform. On the rushing attack, they didn't have that great of a day. The person that had most bulk of the carries, which was Rashad White, he had 15 touches for 31 yards. So that's like just over 2 yards per carry. So it's looking kind of like the game it was last week against the Rams for us as the Lions. It's looking like they were more one-dimensional, and Baker just had to throw the ball the whole game. So expect that, but once again, Puka Nacua got hurt, and then he pretty much Matt Stafford threw to Cooper Kupp pretty much majority of the game. So knowing that this Baker Mayfield is going to have multiple really good targets is going to provide a whole different threat to this matchup here. But overall, the defense didn't get any picks. I think they got 2 sacks. So played pretty similar to the Lions on the defensive front. As far as QB hits and pressures, there's really only 2. There wasn't a ton of pressure produced against the Washington offensive line here. So that's good news for us on offense to be able to move the ball around. But when I looked at the game, I looked into the injuries or any kind of information about what's going to be coming up for the next game. And this is what I found here. We have Antoine Winfield. He was seen in a walking boot on his right foot after the game. Uncertain if he's going to be playing against the Lions on Sunday. They also, the Buccaneers played without starters, Kalijah Kancey, Logan Hall, and then also some of their starting corners. McCollum left the game in the first quarter and did not return. Breece Hall was carted off the field in the third quarter. And then the reserve, Josh Hayes, was also ruled out in the second half. And it's crazy to think that they had to put one of their safeties at the corner position. So they're a little banged up. So I think we're going to have a really good outing through the air. And obviously, we always have good run attack. So I think this is a great opportunity for the Lions to be able to capitalize on getting their offense really rolling, and getting to smooth out some of the kinks they had in week one. They got a lot of banged up people on the opposing team. Should be able to put up some points. But that's kind of what we're seeing. Don't forget the Lions do, I believe, have DJ Reader coming back on the defense for week two. Is kind of what we've been hearing for the last 2 weeks now. So this defensive front is going to look a little bit different than it did last week, where they might be able to squeak out a few more sacks. So this is all good news in favor for the Lions. Um, and hopefully this is going to be a great opportunity for us to keep winning. But once again, they did score 37 points. You got to keep that in mind. Um, and then you also have to consider that it was pretty consistent. They had 2 field goals in the first quarter. They had 10 points in the second quarter. They had 7 in the third and 14 in the fourth. So they finished very strong. So you gotta expect the Lions to put on their boots and strap up and start being a little more consistent in this first quarter. And typically we have the third quarter woes. So this is something that this team is offensively no slouch, as Baker Mayfield had one of the best games of his career last week. Overall prediction of the game, I'm kind of feeling the Lions 34 and the Buccaneers 27 as a score. And that's kind of how I see it. But thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'll be uploading next week after the game's done as reaction and a recap. So we'll see you in the next one. And thanks for watching Chain Gang Chats.